Barbados systems initializing. Exegesis protocol activating. Freezing up. Original story of Salem commencing. Year 1692. Actors: Bridget Bishop, Sarah Good, Elizabeth Howe, Susanna Martin, Rebecca Nurse, Sarah Wilde, George Burroughs, Martha Carrier, George Jacobs, John Proctor, John Willard, Giles Corey, Martha Corey, Mary Eastley, Alice Parker, Mary Parker, Alan Gladiator, Wilmot Webb, Margaret Scott, Samuel Wardwell, Anne Foster, Sarah Osborne, Lydia Beston, Roger Dutiker, Mercy Good, Rebecca Addington Chamberlain, and John Dines. Go, witches must fly.
Salem was a town founded by Puritans, known for being among the most devoutly religious of their time. They lived in constant fear of God's wrath, of divine punishment, and of those who might go against his will. The winter of 1691 to 1692 was the coldest and harshest anyone could remember. Decades of neighborly feuds festered alongside deep resentment toward the new, widely despised government overseeing the colony. Social tensions ran high, with bitter divides between wealthier urban residents and poorer rural farmers. Epidemics spread unchecked, and the lingering trauma of wars with native tribes weighed heavily on everyone. These conditions created a volatile atmosphere, a powder keg waiting to explode. For the people of Salem, such misfortunes couldn't simply be natural. They believed witches were to blame. All it took to ignite the hysteria was a spark, and that came from two young girls, Betty Paris and Abigail Williams. The girls claimed to be afflicted by witchcraft, and they named three initial suspects: Tituba, an enslaved woman; Sarah Good, a homeless beggar; and Sarah Osborne, an elderly woman with a controversial reputation. Good and Osborne vehemently denied the charges. Tituba, however, confessed under immense pressure, admitting to witchcraft and claiming that many others in Salem were also practicing it. Her confession fueled the panic and gave weight to the girls' accusations. With newfound authority, Abigail Williams and Betty Paris began accusing anyone they wished, from impoverished pregnant women to the most respected religious figures in the community. The accused were thrown into overcrowded, disease-ridden jails where they faced beatings, starvations, and relentless interrogations. Many were pressured into confessing to escape harsher punishment. Others maintained their innocence and were sent to court. In the courtroom, the young accusers would erupt into fits of hysteria, claiming the spirits of the accused were attacking them. They spoke of voodoo dolls stabbing them, invisible animals tormenting them, and unseen forces threatening their lives. Judges, enthralled by these accounts, accepted spectral evidence as proof of guilt. Over the course of the trials, 20 people were executed, either by hanging or being crushed to death. Many more died in prison. Even skeptics of the trials faced accusations or were forced to flee Salem. The hysteria finally subsided when Massachusetts Governor William Phipps's wife was accused of witchcraft. Only then did Phipps step in to shut down the Court of Eyre and Terminer, which had overseen the trials. In the aftermath, the colony began to reckon with its actions. Spectral evidence was excluded from future trials, and formal apologies were issued to the families of the executed. However, many families received little restitution and were left to endure the shame of being branded as kin to witches. The tragedy left a permanent scar on Salem's history. a grim reminder of the dangers of fear and mass hysteria.
Reading up. Story of the Crucible commencing. Year 1952. Actors: Janet Alexander, Fred Stewart, Jacqueline Andre, Madeline Sherwood, Barbara Stanton, Jane Hoffman, Raymond Bramley, Dorothy Jollett, Jenny Egan, Arthur Kennedy, Gina Blair, Joseph Sweeney, E.G. Marshall, Beatrice Straight, Gresham Besley, Don McHenry, George Mitchell, Philip Coolidge, Walter Hampden, Adele Fortin, and Donald Mary. Goal: Communists must die.
The United States after the Second World War was in a place never seen before. The past great enemy of Nazi Germany was removed, but in its place a far greater beast lay in wait: the Soviet Union and communism. The Soviet Union developed a nuclear bomb prototype through spying on the United States, showing that in a matter of minutes the USSR could destroy countless American cities. This furthered the ideological opposites between communism and capitalism. The fear of communism was fueled by one man, Senator Joseph McCarthy. Senator Joseph McCarthy capitalized on the nation's anxiety, claiming that communist spies had infiltrated every corner of American society, from the government to the entertainment industry. In 1950, he gave a famous speech in Wheeling, West Virginia, where he claimed to have a list of communists working in the State Department. Although McCarthy rarely provided evidence to back up his claims, many Americans believed him. His accusations played into the nation's growing fear of communist spies, who are thought to be lurking in every corner of society. McCarthy's methods relied on public accusations and aggressive questioning, often ruining the reputation of those he accused without proof. His name became tied to his era of fear, known as McCarthyism, where people were accused of disloyalty or being communist sympathizers based on little more than suspicion. The House Un-American Activities Committee, also known as HUAC, also investigated suspected communists, holding hearings where people were pressured to name others or face severe consequences. Accused individuals often lost their jobs and were shunned by their communities. The entertainment industry, especially Hollywood, became one of the main targets. Actors, writers, and directors were investigated, and those accused were blacklisted, meaning they were barred from working. Careers were destroyed, families torn apart, and fear spread as no one felt safe from suspicion. Neighbors, friends, and colleagues turned on one another, adding to the chaos. The Red Scare began to fade in 1954 during the Army McCarthy hearings, where Senator Joseph McCarthy accused the U.S. Army of harboring communists. Televised nationwide, the hearings exposed McCarthy's reckless and baseless accusations, causing the public to turn against him. His aggressive behavior alienated allies, and by the end of the year, the Senate censored him, marking the end of his influence. Attention shifted to larger global issues like the Korean War and the nuclear arms race. The courts also stepped in to protect civil liberties, limiting loyalty oaths and safeguarding free speech. Yet, the scars of the Red Scare remained. Lives and careers were irreparably damaged, families were torn apart, and the nation was left to grapple with the legacy of fear and suspicion. The era serves as a lasting reminder of the dangers of hysteria and the importance of defending freedom, even in uncertain times.
Reading up. Story of our Crucible commencing. Year unknown. Actors: Joaquin Ramos, Jonah Penn, Dawn Johnson, Aya Schultz, Robin Carter, Sully Smith, Matthew Lewis, Juliet Ellis Adversary, Valeria Carter, McKinney Barber, Charlotte Wright, Ricky Ingersoll, Helen Ramsey, Kevin Retek, Mari Mallory, a little time, Barbados did a whole with one acting in my world. Your androids must die.
The 21st century brought incredible progress. Almost everyone had a device that could access more knowledge than past generations could imagine. People could see what friends and family were doing on social media from home. A person on one side of the world could hear another's voice in moments instead of years. Space exploration advanced through machines, and artificial intelligence was developed that outperformed humans in basic work, medical diagnosis, information gathering, and writing. At first, these AI were designed for specific tasks and didn't match humans in overall intelligence. That changed with the biometric assessment and resilience for behavioral artificial decision-making online system, or Barbados. It was the first AI system to be as intelligent as humans in nearly every way. Barbados quickly transformed industries and became a part of everyday life as lifelike assistants. They started simple, but soon became so advanced that it was hard to tell them apart from humans. Androids, controlled by Barbados, spread to homes, workplaces, and public places. While helpful, their presence caused worry. Rumors spread that these AI might be spying and collecting information. People started to wonder if their neighbors, co-workers, or even family members had been replaced. The line between human and android became unclear, creating distrust. Those who questioned the androids were called troublemakers, and privacy disappeared as Barbados watched over interactions to keep things under control. Things reached a breaking point when a broadcast was leaked, showing androids acting strangely, almost like they were defying authority. This video was taken as proof that androids could act against humans. Fear spread quickly, and the search for androids turned into a witch hunt. Suspicion spread through neighborhoods, workplaces, and homes. People were accused over minor things: too calm, too perfect, too quick to respond. Social media was full of videos of android hunts, where strangers pointed fingers and demanded proof of humanity. The government, under pressure, allowed harsh methods to find androids, making the search an all-consuming obsession. The panic began to die down when investigations showed that many of the accusations were based on weak evidence. Reports revealed that the technology meant to find androids was flawed and gave false positives, targeting innocent people. The real danger came not from the androids, but from the systems set up to catch them. Systems that couldn't tell human from machine without invasive and traumatic tests. Society was left to deal with the damage. The constant surveillance of Barbados was reduced, but the harm was already done. Communities were divided, trust was lost, and civil liberties were sacrificed in the rush to find threats. The time served as a warning about the dangers of paranoia and how people are quick to trade freedom for a false sense of security, only to end up with neither.